Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract joy, abundance, and peace effortlessly, while others struggle endlessly despite all their efforts? What if I told you that the key to true prosperity is not in what you chase, but in how you align with the unseen forces of the universe? Today, I will reveal the secret path to spiritual prosperity, a journey that transforms your life from struggle to effortless abundance. The journey towards spiritual prosperity begins with understanding that there is a divine law that governs all life. This law is constant, unchanging, and impartial, operating beyond human understanding yet accessible to everyone who chooses to align with it. When you consciously bring your thoughts, emotions, and actions into harmony with this law, you tap into a current of energy that carries abundance, peace, and fulfillment effortlessly. Many people mistakenly believe that prosperity is the result of struggle, hard work, or external circumstances, but true prosperity emerges when you live in alignment with universal principles. It is not about striving to acquire more or compete with others. It is about recognizing that the universe is infinitely abundant, and that your consciousness is the key to unlocking its treasures. Every thought you think and every action you take either strengthens your connection to this divine current or creates resistance that blocks the flow. The power of alignment lies in the realization that you are not separate from the universe but an active participant in its unfolding. By observing your inner landscape and consciously choosing thoughts of faith, hope, and expectation, you set the stage for life to respond in ways that feel miraculous yet are perfectly natural. Aligning with divine law requires patience and awareness, for the mind has a tendency to drift toward worry, fear, and comparison. These tendencies are not flaws to be condemned, but signals pointing out where attention is needed. When you learn to recognize these signals without attachment, you begin to redirect your focus toward ideas, beliefs, and actions that harmonize with the abundant flow. In practice, this alignment may manifest as clarity of purpose, synchronicities, and opportunities appearing at the right moment. It may also bring a profound sense of inner calm, even when external circumstances seem chaotic. This calm is not resignation. It is the quiet strength of knowing that life itself is inherently supportive, and that prosperity is a natural outcome of living in harmony with its principles. To deepen this connection, daily practices such as meditation, reflection, and mindful awareness can help you cultivate a receptive state. By setting aside moments to listen inwardly, you become attuned to guidance that may come through intuition, dreams, or subtle inspiration. These insights are often overlooked because they appear in quiet, fleeting moments, yet they are powerful indicators of the universe's readiness to support your growth. The essence of aligning with divine law is understanding that you are a co-creator of your reality. The universe responds not only to your conscious desires but also to the underlying energy of your beliefs and emotions. If you harbor doubts or fears, they act as barriers to abundance. If you cultivate faith, trust, and positive expectation, they act as magnets drawing prosperity into every aspect of life. Living in accordance with divine principles transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and learning. Situations that once felt like obstacles can become catalysts that strengthen your character, expand your awareness, and refine your understanding of true abundance. You begin to perceive life as a rich tapestry, where every thread, every experience contributes to the fullness of your prosperity. This perspective allows you to act decisively without anxiety, to make choices from a place of clarity rather than reaction. Alignment with divine law is not a passive state but an active engagement with life. It requires commitment, focus, and the willingness to question limiting beliefs. It invites you to observe how your thoughts and habits either serve your higher good or keep you confined to patterns of scarcity. By consistently choosing thoughts and actions that resonate with abundance, you train your mind and spirit to recognize opportunities that were always present but previously unnoticed. This alignment fosters an inner confidence that is not dependent on external validation. You learn to trust in the process, to see that prosperity is not a reward for effort alone, but a natural consequence of living in accordance with the principles that govern creation. As your understanding deepens, you begin to experience a sense of flow in all areas of life. Decisions become easier, relationships more harmonious, and opportunities more abundant. You find that challenges no longer provoke panic but inspire creativity and resilience. The more consistently you align with divine law, the more effortless your life becomes. For you are no longer swimming against the current but moving in harmony with it. This understanding leads directly to the next aspect of spiritual prosperity: The power of words. Words are not mere symbols or expressions. They carry energy that shapes reality. Every statement you speak, whether aloud or silently to yourself, acts as a seed planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Positive, faith-filled words nurture growth and attract abundance, while negative, fear-based words create barriers and limitations. The influence of words is often underestimated because their effects unfold gradually, yet they are constantly shaping your experiences. By becoming mindful of your speech, you begin to observe patterns that may be sabotaging your prosperity without your awareness. Complaints, self-doubt, and criticism not only diminish your own energy but also repel the flow of abundance. Conversely, affirming, optimistic, and gratitude-filled statements reinforce the connection to divine law and magnetize prosperity into your life. The practical application of this principle involves conscious choice in every moment of communication. Simple phrases of encouragement, statements of faith, and declarations of abundance reinforce the mental and spiritual powers necessary for prosperity. You begin to notice that your inner dialogue becomes a powerful tool for transformation. Even before circumstances change, your words begin to shape your perception, creating a sense of possibility and openness. The power of words extends beyond your own speech. It influences the energy you emit into your environment and the responses you receive from others. Positive words elevate not only your experience, but also the experience of those around you, creating a ripple effect of abundance and harmony. In this way, speaking with intention becomes an act of co-creation, aligning your personal energy with the universal law of prosperity. To cultivate this power, it is essential to practice awareness, pause before speaking, and choose expressions that reflect the reality you wish to experience. Affirmations, prayers, and conscious conversations are not mere rituals. They are tools to reprogram the mind and direct the flow of life toward prosperity. Over time, consistent, intentional use of words reshapes beliefs, habits, and perception, transforming scarcity into abundance, fear into faith, and limitation into opportunity. As you integrate the understanding of divine law with the conscious use of words, you establish a foundation for spiritual prosperity that is both unshakable and expansive. Life becomes a reflection of your inner alignment, and every spoken word acts as a bridge connecting your intentions with the abundant reality that already exists. This synergy between alignment and expression unlocks doors that were previously invisible, revealing pathways to fulfillment that are both natural and effortless. By living consciously in alignment with divine principles and mastering the energy of words, you create a life that flows in harmony with universal abundance. Challenges transform into opportunities, relationships deepen in meaning, and prosperity becomes not a distant goal but a present reality that expands as you grow in awareness, intention, and faith. This continuous practice of alignment and mindful speech nurtures a resilient, prosperous spirit that is capable of manifesting joy, success, and fulfillment in every aspect of life. Each moment becomes a chance to reinforce these principles, to observe their effect, and to refine your understanding of how thought and word shape the tangible world. Through this disciplined yet natural approach, spiritual prosperity ceases to be an abstract concept and emerges as a living, breathing experience that touches every area of existence, making abundance not only achievable but inevitable. The path is not one of struggle or resistance, but of conscious engagement with the forces that govern life, cultivating an inner environment where prosperity flows freely and effortlessly. The understanding that you are both guided and co-creating transforms every action, thought, and word into a meaningful step along the journey of spiritual prosperity, deepening the connection to the divine and opening channels for unlimited abundance, insight, and fulfillment in ways that continually enrich and expand your life. The journey toward spiritual prosperity continues with the practice of letting go, a principle that is both simple in concept and profound in its effects. Letting go does not mean giving up on your dreams or resigning yourself to circumstance. It means releasing the attachment to fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs that weigh down your mind and spirit. Often, people cling to outcomes, relationships, or situations in an attempt to control life. Yet this very attachment blocks the natural flow of abundance. By learning to release control and trust in the divine order, you create space for guidance, opportunities, and blessings that were previously obscured by tension and expectation. This process begins with awareness, noticing the thoughts and emotions that create resistance, fear of failure, worry about the future, and doubts about self-worth are not random. They are signals that point to areas where surrender is needed. Instead of resisting these feelings or judging yourself for having them, acknowledge them and consciously release them. This act of letting go is an affirmation of trust in the unseen, a recognition that life itself is inherently supportive, and that the universe provides what is most appropriate at the right time. Letting go also requires patience. The mind is accustomed to striving and clinging, and it may take time to cultivate the confidence needed to release old patterns. During this period, it is essential to practice self-compassion, understanding that every step of release brings you closer to the effortless flow of spiritual prosperity. The benefits of this practice extend far beyond immediate circumstances. As you release fear and doubt, you find that creativity, intuition, and insight emerge naturally. Obstacles that once felt insurmountable are transformed into opportunities for growth. Challenges become invitations to strengthen your faith and deepen your understanding of the principles that govern abundance. This principle of release complements the power of alignment and conscious speech, creating a foundation where prosperity is not forced but naturally drawn to you. Every act of letting go is an acknowledgement that the universe has infinite resources, and by resisting less, you allow these resources to move freely into your life. It also fosters inner peace, a calm certainty that life is unfolding as it should. The art of letting go is intertwined with the principle of gratitude, for once the mind is unburdened by attachment, it becomes fertile ground for appreciation and recognition of the blessings already present. Gratitude is more than a polite acknowledgement. It is a powerful spiritual practice that magnetizes abundance. When you cultivate gratitude, you shift your perception from lack to fullness, from scarcity to sufficiency. Every moment of appreciation sends a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more, and the flow of prosperity intensifies. Gratitude is not dependent on external circumstances. It is cultivated as an internal state, a conscious focus on the richness that already exists in your life. By reflecting on the people, experiences, and opportunities that bring meaning and joy, you reinforce the mental and emotional patterns that attract more of the same. This practice deepens your connection to the divine and strengthens the alignment with spiritual laws that underpin prosperity. Gratitude also transforms the way challenges are perceived. Difficult situations are seen not as obstacles but as teachers that reveal hidden blessings, lessons, and growth opportunities. Each moment becomes a chance to practice appreciation, even in subtle form, recognizing the beauty, support, and abundance that surround you. The act of giving thanks cultivates a sense of sufficiency, which is a critical aspect of attracting more into your life. A mind focused on lack cannot create abundance, but a mind centered on gratitude resonates with the vibrational frequency of prosperity. Gratitude amplifies faith and reinforces the power of words. When your speech expresses thanks and acknowledgement, whether to others or in affirmations to yourself, you multiply the impact of your intentions. The words of appreciation, spoken with sincerity, become magnets for blessings, reinforcing your alignment with the universal flow. This creates a feedback loop where awareness, release, and gratitude continuously build upon each other. Each step in letting go strengthens the ability to remain present, to observe without attachment, and to act from a state of clarity rather than fear. Each moment of gratitude intensifies the flow of abundance, opening doors that were previously unnoticed. Together, these principles cultivate resilience, creativity, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Life begins to unfold in a rhythm that feels natural, effortless, and joyful. Opportunities present themselves in ways that are intuitive and often surprising. As the alignment between inner state and outer reality strengthens, the more consistently you practice release and gratitude, the more effortless the manifestation of prosperity becomes. You notice a shift in perception where challenges no longer intimidate, setbacks are temporary, and every experience contributes to growth and abundance. The mind, once cluttered with resistance and scarcity, becomes a fertile ground for creativity, faith, and expansive thinking. Gratitude and release also enhance relationships and interactions, create harmony and support in both personal and professional spheres. When you approach others from a place of appreciation rather than expectation, you create an energy that fosters trust, cooperation, and mutual benefit. This not only enriches your own life but also contributes to a broader environment of abundance that extends beyond individual circumstances. By mastering the art of letting go and cultivating gratitude, you align yourself with the invisible forces that orchestrate prosperity. Life becomes a series of connected experiences, each contributing to growth, understanding, and fulfillment. Challenges are embraced as lessons, successes are celebrated as natural outcome of alignment, and each day becomes an opportunity to refine your practice. This continuous engagement with the principles of release and appreciation allows spiritual prosperity to flow effortlessly, transforming every area of life from scarcity to abundance, from struggle to ease, and from uncertainty to confident expectation. You begin to see that prosperity is not something to be chased or demanded, but something to be recognized, welcomed, and nurtured as it emerges naturally from the alignment of mind, heart, and spirit. Faith is not merely a belief in something unseen. It is an active, dynamic force that shapes the course of life and attracts prosperity in ways that thought alone cannot accomplish. True faith is a combination of trust, expectation, and inspired action. It requires confidence in the unseen order of the universe and the certainty that your desires, intentions, and efforts are aligned with forces greater than yourself. This kind of faith transforms ordinary actions into acts of co-creation, infusing each step with purpose and energy. When you act with faith, you do not force outcomes or cling to results, but you move forward with clarity and courage, knowing that the universe supports your highest good. Faith is strengthened through practice, beginning with small, consistent steps that demonstrate trust in the process. Each act taken in faith reinforces the belief that abundance is possible and that obstacles are temporary, providing opportunities to strengthen resolve and expand awareness. The presence of faith in your life alters perception, turning setbacks into lessons and challenges into gateways for growth. It shifts focus from scarcity and limitation to opportunity and potential, enabling you to recognize solutions and pathways that were previously invisible. Faith also amplifies the power of alignment, release, and gratitude, creating a cohesive energy that draws prosperity naturally. When faith becomes the foundation of your decisions, your thoughts, words, and actions resonate with a frequency that attracts success and fulfillment. It is not blind optimism, but an informed, conscious trust in the flow of life, grounded in understanding that the universe operates with intelligence, balance, and perfect timing. As faith deepens, it brings a sense of inner security and resilience, allowing you to navigate uncertainty with calmness and clarity. You begin to act decisively, not from fear or impatience, but from a place of assurance that your steps are guided and supported. Faith inspires boldness, creativity, and persistence. It encourages you to take the actions that align with your purpose, even when outcomes are not immediately visible, knowing that the seeds you plant today will bear fruit in their due season. Faith is also a magnet for synchronicity, attracting people, resources, and opportunities that harmonize with your intentions. These experiences reinforce the understanding that prosperity is not accidental, but the result of alignment between inner belief and outward action. Each challenge encountered becomes a chance to exercise faith, and each success, no matter how small, strengthens the conviction that abundance is your natural state. The ongoing practice of faith cultivates patience and endurance, revealing that the universe works in precise timing, and that rushing or forcing outcomes only creates resistance. By trusting the process, you create a flow in life where opportunities appear effortlessly, and each step taken contributes to the unfolding of prosperity in a harmonious and sustainable way. Faith is inseparable from inspired action, for belief without action is stagnant, and action without belief is scattered. When you act from a foundation of faith, your energy aligns with the natural current of life, and every effort contributes to the manifestation of abundance. The integration of faith into daily life transforms the ordinary into extraordinary, infusing every experience with meaning, confidence, and the expectation of prosperity. It becomes the engine that powers all other principles of spiritual prosperity, ensuring that alignment, release, gratitude, and conscious expression are not just concepts but living, dynamic practices that generate tangible results. The joy of giving is a principle that completes the circle of prosperity, demonstrating that abundance is not a finite resource, but a flowing energy that expands when shared. When you give freely, whether your time, your resources, your knowledge, or your love. You participate in the universal exchange of energy that sustains life and nurtures growth. Giving is not a transaction or an obligation. It is an expression of trust that the universe is infinitely abundant, and that what you release will return in equal or greater measure. This principle may seem counterintuitive to those who equate prosperity with accumulation, yet spiritual prosperity operates on a different law. The act of giving creates a flow, a circulation of energy that prevents stagnation and opens channels for new blessings to enter. Giving also cultivates an expansive mindset, breaking the limitations imposed by fear, scarcity, or attachment. As you share generously, you reinforce the understanding that prosperity is not about possession, but about participation in the abundance of life. Giving transforms the giver as much as the receiver. It fosters humility, compassion, and awareness of interconnectedness, reminding you that life is a network of energy and influence where every action has ripple effects. Acts of giving also align with gratitude, faith, and conscious intention, creating a holistic approach to prosperity that is both spiritual and practical. When you give with sincerity, without expectation of return, you strengthen your connection to the universal flow. This principle manifests in countless ways, from offering support to others in need, mentoring, sharing knowledge, or contributing to causes that uplift communities. Each act reinforces the idea that abundance is not a limited commodity, but a dynamic, renewable energy that thrives in circulation. The joy experienced in giving is a reflection of spiritual alignment, demonstrating that true prosperity is measured not only in material terms but in the richness of experience, relationships, and contribution. Giving also dissolves resistance to receiving. When you open your hands and heart to others, you create a natural receptivity for blessings to return. This reciprocity is not transactional but vibrational, a law of energy that ensures flow and balance. The universe responds to the frequency of generosity by providing avenues of growth, opportunity, and abundance that align with your intentions. The practice of giving requires mindfulness and sincerity. Giving out of obligation or expectation does not yield the same transformative effects as giving from the heart. Genuine generosity nurtures both the spirit of the giver and the environment of the receiver, creating a cycle of prosperity that multiplies and sustains itself. Through consistent practice, giving becomes integrated into daily life, shaping perspectives, actions, and decisions. You begin to recognize abundance everywhere, from the smallest gesture of kindness to the largest contributions, understanding that prosperity is both spiritual and practical, flowing through every exchange of energy and influence. The joy of giving reinforces all other aspects of spiritual prosperity. It amplifies faith, for giving demonstrates trust in the infinite resources of the universe. It enhances gratitude, as each opportunity to contribute reminds you of the blessings already present. It supports release, as letting go of attachment and self-interest allows generosity to flow freely. Finally, it strengthens alignment, ensuring that your life resonates with the natural currents of abundance. By embracing the joy of giving, you step fully into the cycle of spiritual prosperity, experiencing a life of fulfillment, connection, and effortless abundance. Every act of generosity becomes a beacon that attracts more prosperity, illuminating the path of faith, relief, and gratitude, and demonstrating that true prosperity is not merely a state of accumulation but a living, flowing, shared experience that enriches all aspects of life and creates a legacy of abundance that touches both the present and the future.